Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chai and Cabins. As most of you know, and for those of you who don't, my name is Rashmi, like don't rush me. It's my pleasure to welcome you onto this YouTube channel, Chai and Cabins. And if you're listening to the podcast, welcome back to the Chai and Cabin podcast. I have been hosting short-term rentals or Airbnbs, as most of you know, for probably the better part of 3 years. And here are the top mistakes I see short-term rental investors or new hosts make. Welcome to Chai and Cabins, where we talk all things entrepreneurship, short-term rentals, real estate, and business. My name is Rashmi, like don't rush me, and it's my pleasure to welcome you onto this podcast. I gathered these up over a lot of the listings I look at when I'm on the platform every single day, whether it's Airbnb, VRBO, and I also have a boutique portfolio that we manage, and I also own a couple of short-term rentals, so I'm also an investor. A lot of times when people get started with Airbnb or short-term rentals, they're doing a ton of research, they're watching a lot of videos, but actually the first mistake I see most people make is they either underanalyze or they overanalyze. So I attend a lot of meetup, guys. And by the way, if you're interested in attending or joining any of these real estate meetups, I usually just go to meetup.com and Eventbrite, type in real estate and look at what's in the area. Anyways, I see how many aspiring real estate owners month after month, I've never seen them buy. And they have all of this potential, they have all of this capital, but they just don't know how to pull the trigger. And honestly, they know a lot more than me in like whichever asset class they want to invest in, whether it's short-term rentals, whether it's self-storage, industrial, and they've watched all the YouTube channels. Speaking of, if you guys don't mind hitting the like and subscribe button while you're here and following the podcast and leaving us a 5-star review, I would really appreciate it. Anywho, everyone is stuck in this analysis freeze essentially. So what I recommend, if you guys resonate with that, and disclaimer, this isn't financial advice or to be constructed as such, blah, 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 here's the disclaimer. What I suggest is that you look to break even on your first like 2 to 3 deals. And the reason I say that so many people, they try to hit a home run on their very first thing right out of the gate. My husband was telling me that in baseball, 30% is considered to like the best batting average in the world. That means for every 10 hits you take, you make less than 3 or less. Now, I know nothing about baseball, but that sounds kind of low. And that's the benchmark for like the very best of baseball players. And that's just hitting the ball. It's not even making like a home run or anything. But it seems like in real estate, like everybody wants to hit a home run every single ball. And they're like, hey, my numbers don't work. So what you want to do is you want to be conservative, learn from your first 2 to 3 deals and grow that. Figure out if you like to own a short-term rental. And the reason I say 2 to 3 deals is you could get really lucky in your first deal and then lose money on your second deal. So I actually see this happen with a lot of flippers. They do great on one deal, over leverage on the second deal and lose money. So be conservative, run your numbers, and the best advice I can give you is if there's someone in your market that you want to invest in that's doing exactly what you want to do, send them a coffee gift card to like their favorite coffee shop, a link to the property you want to buy, and a detailed Excel analysis on the deal. Ask for their help and ask them, would you buy this deal? Like yes, no, why not? This will get you into the deal flow mode. The other side of the coin that I see is so many people underanalyze the deal. In one of my other videos, I actually talk about this, and I'll put a link here. If you guys look up buying an Airbnb 2023 video, but people vastly underanalyze deals. So they'll rely on their real estate agent, their lawyer, the property management company, all these other people to run their numbers. And as someone who runs a property management company, we're more than happy to give you, our clients, an analysis of what we think the property can do. But at the end of the day, it is your property. As a real estate investor, you should always know what happens if the economy crashes and you have to hold on and pay the note on the property. What is your burn rate? What happens if a flood comes through? Now, not to talk about all the doom and gloom scenarios, but throughout the market, we are seeing 2019 travel trends and patterns return. You should be asking your property management company, do you have access to the data? What can my property do? And use that information to run your own analysis. You've got to know how much property taxes will be. How are regulations in the area you want to invest in? Attend local city councilman meetings. Are they anti-STRs? All of these will make a big difference in the deal that you end up buying. Now, after you've bought your property, the second mistake I see most hosts make is they go cheap on everything. And I mean, like, they go cheap contractor who won't do a decent rehab. They'll go with cheap Facebook furniture that's going to break after 50 guests, and they won't invest in the right quantity of stuff. So if you guys have watched the Florida house video I did about Airbnbs, as always, I'll add the link below on this video. You're gonna see that if you are going to sleep, say 10 people, you need to have 30 large plates, not 10. No one wants to wash dishes right after they're done eating. They're gonna like wait and you put in the dishwasher and do it the day after. So you have to invest in things right off the bat. So we're set up for the perfect guest experience for your avatar. And all of this does require cash. And then this one drives me absolutely insane. They will take photos from their cell phone and upload it. And like, guys, I get it. You've put in so much effort onto the property. You've spent all of this significant amount of money, furniture and station. But when it comes to photography, some people will literally just like cut the corner and ruin everything they've done so far. And your return on your dime on using a professional photographer is just like through the roof. So let's be clear, guys, no cell phone photos. Now, the only time I would encourage you to use cell phone photos if like you've got to go live on Airbnb and the professional photos are ready yet, that's totally fine, just to kind of get you on the platform, get you some booking. But right after the professional photos come through, you want to go ahead and do it. And like, I've done it. Like, I have a tiny house where we did cell phone photos and they were fine. But once we got professional photos done, the bookings just started rolling in because people book with their eyes first. So the wide angle lens, proper lighting, the editing made my space look appealing and spacious. And like, obviously it's not about tricking anyone. It's just showing off your space in the best possible angle. Because guess, honestly, the very first thing they're going to see about your listing is going to be the photo. No one's going to click on a listing if it looks dark. And funny enough, I was actually recently booking an Airbnb just a few days ago, and the listing mentioned they had a washer and dryer, but they had like 0 photos of it. So I literally went and booked another listing because I don't want to risk it. What if they don't have it? So little things like that, you want to make sure you have. So moving on to mistake number, I guess 2 or 3, poor listing descriptions. It's not just about making your place look good. It's about making sure your guests here's how good it is. And of course, good photos are like #1, but a good description gets people really excited about your space. They can see themselves in that space. So this is where it gets to know a little bit more about your place, apart from the photos. And you want it to be really easy to consume. So like, just like the photos are, right? So I love little bullet points that keeps it short. We highlight all of our top amenities, like the bedroom count, blah, blah, blah. And then you want to make sure that this is a continual process you're doing. So every time a guest asks a question to like clarify an amenity, we actually go back to a listing description and update it. And you have got to ask yourself, how can I make this so easy and effortless for my guests that they don't ever have to message me? And I don't mean that in a way where like I don't want them to message me. I mean that in a way that my guest time is extremely valuable. They probably want to spend it with their family rather than asking me if the master bedroom has a king bed or a queen bed. It is my job to serve our guests to the best of our abilities and make like their life easier. That's why we are in the hospitality business. So the other thing, it's like a little bonus I want to highlight, is your listing description should read really well, but you also want to pay attention to SEO. So what are keywords that Airbnb is looking for? Are you ranking for the keywords in those categories? Are all of your amenities listed? Like maybe you have a pack and play and a high chair if you're kid friendly. Are you highlighting that you have an instant pot that guests can make rice in? Make sure you are talking to your ideal audience. So moving on to the next mistake is not replying quickly enough. So on Airbnb, things move fast and it's important to respond to messages really quickly. Guests often reach out to a lot of hosts, especially when they're like the first booking stage, and the people who answer first, they usually get the booking. So if you're taking too long, you might miss out on reservations. So ideally, we aim to respond to all inquiries in less than 5 minutes, ideally less than 3. And I mean, guys, this is a 24/7, 365 days a year business. When everyone else gets to be on vacation, guess where they are? If you're doing your job right, hopefully they're with you. But also when everyone is closed for the holidays, all of you guys are going to reach out to you. So it's important that you have on-site help during the holiday season. So next mistake I see most has got caught up in is like handling all of these day-to-day tasks, and they're not automating parts of the business that could be automated. So of course we always want to maintain a personal touch, and automation can actually help a lot with that. So you want to make sure your messaging, your cleaning coordination, your review generation, and there's tons of property management softwares like that can help. There's Owner Rez, Hospitable, and if you guys use my links below, I do get a little commission, and I'm happy to do a little tutorial about this too. Anyways, this will help you cut out about 95% of like the whole back and forth communication, and it really helps the guests have a smooth communication. And if you guys want to know what mistake number, I hope this is number 5, is offering discounts. I lost track of what number we're on. Anyways, while it might seem tempting to drop prices, well, if you're not seeing any bookings come in, you want to make sure you are giving discounts very minimally. So people are more likely to leave a negative review if you give a discount and they have an issue. So there's this whole trap here. Now, as it is with all things, there is of course times I recommend you hand out a discount. So I like to have weekly discounts for my guests that are staying a week long or a month long, sort of like a long-term paid discount. And I also like to do discounts for military, teachers, firefighters, really people who serve our community and our country. That's special to me, so I'm happy to do that. So you just want to make sure you're handling that correctly. So mistake number 6 is dealing with bad reviews. So when you're hosting a lot of people, especially like I am, you're bound to get a lot of different opinions, and not all of them are going to be positive. And really the main key here, guys, is don't let it bring you down, especially for the entire week. I know it gets to people, right? So instead of getting stuck on it, like focus on all the positive reviews that you have. You want to make sure you address the concern that the guest was unhappy. You want to make improvements to your property if you think it warrants it, and you've seen other guests tell you this has been an issue. And as always, remember to take a day, ask your friend, use tools like ChatGPT when you're responding to the negative review. And always remember, when you respond to a negative review, you're responding for future guests. They're going to see how you react, and based on that response. And of course, you don't want to forget to concentrate on the really great reviews that you get. The ones where guests are appreciating all the special memories they've created with you on your property. And remember, guys, we are making a huge impact on people's lives. We're providing spaces for them to create all these lasting memories with their friends, with their families. So negative review will come here and there. Learn from them, keep moving forward. And along with time, you will get a little bit better handling those negative reviews. So mistake number 8, not networking with fellow hosts. So this is something I was really conscious with when I first started on my Airbnb and short-term rental journey, and it helped me grow so much. So hosting can feel a little lonely at times, especially in the beginning. So if you guys are connecting with other hosts, going to the meetup groups, meeting other Airbnb hosts in the area, and when you surround yourself with people like that, it will help you. They will help you respond to a negative review. They'll tell you how to deal with guests. And it also gives you so many inspiring ideas for your property. You can cheer each other on. There's so many valuable tips that senior hosts know, but there's so many new things you know that people maybe haven't, practiced being on the new platform and haven't seen all the features they have. So you guys can really help each other. And of course, I love being in all the Facebook groups. That's how I learned this business, and watching so many YouTube videos like this channel. But just be a little bit careful. I'm seeing tons of negative stuff on Facebook, and there's a lot of noise out there. Always do what's true for you. I feel like I should make a whole separate video about this and deep dive into my thoughts. So let me know if you guys are interested in me doing that. So mistake number 9 is canceling reservations. So you want to stay really clear of this, like, to begin with. Not only do they mess up your Airbnb track record, but they also mess up with your SEO. They make your listing harder to find. And then if you cancel, the dates become unavailable for other bookings, and then it can cause this whole ripple effect. Your cancellation should really be as minimal and honest, genuine, non-existent if you can. So you want to be dependable, you want to provide a good property, and you want to stick to your reservations. Now, if there is a time where you do have to cancel it, I recommend talking to Airbnb, because if you guys have seen on Airbnb's latest platform change, if you do cancel, you have to pay as a host out of pocket for canceling the guest booking. So that's big. All right, so the number 10th mistake I see people make is they overspend on completely the wrong stuff. And of course, while you want to make sure we're spending kind of in between the wise choices, but you don't want to unsplurge on things. So a lot of things I see hosts kind of spend a lot of money on is like super expensive seats, fancy blenders, top tier mattresses. And honestly, the top tier mattresses you should, but it's important to understand the real value of what you're buying. For example, I absolutely love a great mattress. I have no problem spending money. We can get a great one on Wayfair. If you guys want the brand I use, just drop a comment below. But like, I would not buy a super expensive blender unless it's a property that rents for $5,000 a night and it's ultra luxury and that's my guest experience. And that's why you have to know your guest avatar and exactly what they expect from your property. So choose whatever you're spending on your money wisely. Focus on items that genuinely enhance the guest experience, and keep an eye on wear and tear. Even the most, just regular items like towels, bed sheets, they're gonna need replacing. And find that sweet spot between providing like a premium experience and making it practical and cost-effective decisions. So going back to how I started my first Airbnb, we're just spending all this money buying all these new things, and things will wear out when you do that. You guys are really going to enjoy the challenge of hosting on Airbnb. I know it's been a really fulfilling journey for me, and I would love to hear about your thoughts. And as always, let's keep it positive. And if you guys need help with anything, let me know. And then I do have a few other videos on Airbnb design that I think you guys will really enjoy, so be sure to check those out.